let's talk about the LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith feud that's going on. But I want to talk about this from a totally different perspective. I want to talk about this from, number one, we're going to get to the feud. Number two, we're going to talk about the financial ramifications and an investing standpoint. I don't think anybody's talking about the investment standpoint, and that's what I believe Stephen A. has to be careful of. There are a couple principles in mind. Number one, you have to have some level of humility. The person who covers, the person who does, is never going to be bigger than the person who does. You see what I'm saying? Stephen A., you get paid a nice amount. You've made 9 figures covering athletes. You will never be bigger than the athlete, and that's okay. Number one, the way you're moving, Stephen A., is bad for business. It's bad for business, and I'm going to tell you why. ESPN, yes, I'm sure you generate a lot of money. I'm sure that those advertisement rates during First Take are through the roof because of the viewership and what it's been historically. So you're getting paid, and rightfully so, from that. Now, here's what you've done though, right? You've alienated one of the biggest leagues in the world. Adam Silver is on a crusade to take the NBA global next to soccer, right? Next to soccer, to be the biggest global sport next to soccer. You've alienated your relationships with some of the biggest stars in the game to line your pockets. And after a while, ESPN is going to be coming back and looking like, man, we're paying this guy all of this money, right? And he's working around the clock. But the biggest star in sports, came to our network, but went with the guy who has some ownership in his own show, in the Pat McAfee show, and didn't go with the guy that we're paying $100 million to because he has such a bad relationship with. This player, LeBron James, is also extremely influential in the sports business world, and we have this person that we put on the top of the mountain at ESPN with a horrible relationship with him. Not only does he have a horrible relationship with the biggest star in the game, that's cool because people could be like, well, LeBron go phase out. LeBron won't be playing he won't play the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be. Cool. But here's the thing Stephen A. has also done while he's the top dog. He has fetishized an era that will never come back. Why is that horrible for business if you're ESPN? If you have the number one person on your station fetishizing the 80s and 90s and time will never go back, and consistently bringing up players today only to speed through their accolades. Oh yeah, he's a great this, a great that. Oh yeah, the brother. But he's no Michael Jordan. But he's no those Rough Riders back in the 90s. Those Rough Riders, the Riley Knicks, the such and such, the bad boy Pistons, Scotty and Michael, and oh my God, you had Craig Hodges and you had Phil Jackson, those boys, the rough and rugged. You see what I'm saying? So you're speeding through accomplishments, you're speeding through accolades, but then you always get back to the 80s, the 90s. And sometimes it gets painful to watch because your colleagues on TV are looking at you like this. I saw on live TV, people are like cringy, like nobody brought up the 80s or 90s. They were saying, how do you feel about LeBron scoring 50,000 points? What do you think about that? And you sped through it. Oh yeah, that was great, that was great, that was great. But it's only because he didn't play in the... And people are tired of that. You see what I'm saying? Stephen A., legend. I love you. I grew up watching you since Cold Pizza, covering AI. Saw you on First Take with Skip, you and Skip going at it. Entertainment, and that's cool. But what happened is ESPN made you the top dog, and this happens in any industry. This is business. This is why in hip hop for a very long time, we saw a certain type of rapper be at the top, right? We saw a certain type of artist be at the top. An artist that can give you club hits, conscious hits, who can cross over the mainstream, all of those things. You never see the trap rapper at the top. You never see the person who killing, stealing, all that at the tippity top. Why? Because when that's the number one spot, everybody is going to emulate the thing that got them to number one. So basically, all the work that you've done, the beat writing, the this, the that, the intern probably back then, the all mailroom work, all of that stuff, nobody cares about it. They see you got to number one being the shop job. And now you see the fruits of your labor. You go on Gil's Arena, and it was a cringe-worthy moment. You see Rashad McCann sitting there in the mask top. I'm trying to get 100 million too. I'm trying to get basically, I'm trying to be like you and hate on LeBron James or hate on whoever so that I can get that platform. The problem is that man, LeBron James, played a crazy round of chess, and him and his team played a crazy round of chess right in your face, Stephen A. So you can't be talking like, oh, for the next 5-10 years, like, this is how it's going, da-da-da-da. You're not bigger than the brand, bro. You're not bigger than ESPN. Now, as a black man, a black mentor, a black journalist, an HBCU graduate, you now lose the spot as the top dog because you didn't know how to steward it properly. Because you thought that, number one, you forgot you were talking to real people. Number two, you try to outshine the people that actually do the action. You're the person who talks about their actions. You try to outshine them. You're not the LeBron James of journalism. You're not the LeBron James. You're not the Michael Jordan of journalism. There is no Michael Jordan of journalism. There is no LeBron James of journalism. Because those guys do the thing. You talk about the people who do the thing. You cover the people who do the thing. You don't have a Michael Jordan of that. The Michael Jordan of a thing comes with the verb. The LeBron James of a thing comes with the verb. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that you've forgotten that, there are plenty of other people who are looking at you. I guarantee you, like, put me in that position. Put me in that position, and I know what to do. Relationships are important. As somebody who I looked at growing up, as somebody, you were one of the reasons that we have sports debates and things like that. I'm gonna say it slow. I don't want to breeze past that, right? You're one of the reasons people have sports debates, and the reason that we get with our homies and we start talking about, hey man, who do you think is da-da-da? And just how people pass time. But when you're in the number one position, like LeBron said, right? Like LeBron talked about on the Pat McAfee show, you have to think greater. You have to look and dedicate yourself to the game. If somebody comes in the NBA and decides he wants to play basketball like LeBron James, nobody's going to say that's a stain on the game. I don't care if you hate LeBron James. Oh, you're going to take care of your body. You're going to stretch. You're going to show up to work. You're going to complete all your contracts, no trade demands. You're going to play all your contracts out. You're going to be healthy for the overwhelming majority of your career. You're going to not have any off-court scandals. You see how all the facts, you're going to make the right pass. You're going to lead every team that you play for to a championship. Do you see how the facts line up differently than the narratives that you have been pioneering and creating? All because you were trying to win a debate. All so that you can lace your pockets. Shock the culture, man. I want to hear what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Like I said, I want to talk about this from a different point. All right. So we did that today. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Shock the culture, man.